Good evening guys, welcome back to the channel and another driving video in Silvia. Now if you've watched my video that I just uploaded earlier today, you'll understand that I'm using Silvia again, at least in the short term, because my twin top roof is playing up. It's currently stuck down, so I've had to leave it in the inside the garage hangar at work because I can't use it because the roof's stuck down. So obviously it's alright if it's nice and fine and sunny, but if it rains then interior is going to get wet. So good old Silvia, my 1986 Mark II Cavalier, is back in daily use, at least temporarily. So this is a driving video of me driving Silvia, my Mark II Cav. I'm going to be quiet now and just let you enjoy the drive, and I'll talk again a little bit later on. Cheers guys. It's me again. I wasn't going to talk on this video, but seeing as how I'm stuck behind people dawdling along, it's not the most interesting of videos. So I'll just quickly introduce Silvia for anybody who doesn't know. Silvia is the name of my silver Mark II Cavalier, which I've owned for nearly 12 years. It was given the name Silvia by the previous owner, a girl called Aurora, and she was from France. She was living and working in the UK, but she wanted to move back to France, and I'd known her for quite a while through the owners club, and she knew that I was looking for another Cavalier after mine had been stolen by about 6 years prior to that, back in 2004. But I'd never been able to find one that I really wanted. I kept looking. I had different cars in between, and then I was talking to Aurora, and she was saying how she was gonna sell Silvia, and I said, well, give me first refusal. If you decide to sell her, let me know. So anyway, she got a job back in her home city, back in her hometown, and she was moving back to France. So she said, right Rich, I'm selling Silvia, are you interested? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. So long story short, Silvia became mine, and that was 12 years ago this year. So yeah, I've had her ever since. She's a 1986 D-Reg 1.8 injection GLSI. It's exactly the same engine that's in the SRI. The only difference between this and the SRI really is some of the SRIs have got slightly different gearbox ratios. Some have got a closer ratio box and a different final drive, but the actual engine and power of the engine is identical to an SRI. And it's, you know, she's quite a nippy car, certainly quicker than my twin top. I mean, my twin top, which I've talked about in previous videos and you'll see on my channel, is a 1.8 16 valve rated at a maximum power of 140 PS, whereas this is a 1.8 8 valve rated at round about 112 115 PS. But the difference is this is such a lighter car, so much lighter. and it's an LET engine, which is a low end torque, so it's got a lot of torque at the low end of the gear, of the rev range. I mean, like now my speedo is showing 25. We're behind this bus, just cruising along. The speedo is now showing 24, and I'm in 5th gear, and I'm just cruising. You know, it's a very, very flexible engine. I don't have to change gear anywhere near as often in this as I do in my twin top. The problem is with the twin top, one, it's a 16 valve engine, so most of the power comes in higher up the rev range, and two, it's a much heavier car as well, so you're having to pull along a lot more weight. So in terms of, like, you know, the fun factor, this is a lot more fun to drive than a lot of much more modern cars with much more power, simply because she feels so much smaller as well than many modern cars. I mean, it's daft really, you know, this was a mid-range family car back in the 80s, but today you park it next to even a Corsa. A modern day Corsa's wider, not as long, you know, this is definitely longer than a modern day Corsa, but this is definitely smaller than, say, an Astra. But like I say, it's just got so much get up and going. It's just, you know, you never really have to work it hard. It's just drives and pulls really, really, really well. And I think a lot of people are surprised when they drive these, how light and nimble and nippy they are. And you don't even need to have the 1.8 injection, just the normal 1.6 carburetor engine. Again, they've only got about 90 horsepower, but because the cars are so much lighter, they feel nippy and they feel nimble, and they handle really well as well. I mean, mine's lowered and stiffened, lowered sport suspension, so it does handle like it's on rails. And it's a little bit too hard. I mean, I've talked about in previous videos, could really do with softening the suspension up a little bit, because it is a little bit harsh on some of the rougher roads, but the thing is, she just handles so nice on the smoother roads. I don't really want to soften it too much and lose the handling, so a little bit of a compromise needs to be reached somewhere between the two. But there you go. But yeah, I were hoping the roads were going to be fairly clear and I could have a bit more of a fun drive, but then again, you can't really have a fun drive on 30-mile-an-hour roads, can you? So I'd really need to get out into the countryside and do a proper drive in the countryside. That'd be a bit more interesting for you. But I'm a bit low on fuel, so I'm going to go and nip to the fuel station. But I will, now that I'm using Silvia a bit more, I will do some more driving videos of the retro old school variety, because I've been doing a lot of videos recently of the twin top since I bought that, and I've not really done any videos of my old school cars. So you can expect a bit more old school content, at least for the next few days. I'll do some videos and I'll get them uploaded pretty quickly, rather than taking ages to edit them and then decide to put them on. I'm just going to do them and upload them straight away. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go and nip to the fuel station. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.